question to ask yourself, okay? Really get clear with this. Are these ads played out? And so I want to address the elephant in the room, and I want you to kind of think about it. Think about it this way, and I'm gonna share my screen so that you're really clear. And I want you to think about it. Think about it from the angle of this homeowner. And so here I am in Michelle's account because Michelle just recently signed up. And I was just thinking about this experience. And I was thinking, listen, every single homeowner is on Facebook right now and they see your ad. And that ad, you know, tick for tack, apple for banana, orange for a mango. I don't care if your ad, spend is $10 and you're getting 10 leads at $1 each lead, or if you're getting one lead at $10. Really, it's important to me what you're doing with that lead. Okay. And so if I'm this homeowner and I'm randomly scrolling down my feed and I start submitting my information and it's a dynamic funnel, and I start going, you know what? I want to know what my home is worth. I'm going to throw in my address right now. Oh, okay. So I have to submit an email. Okay, that makes sense. I have to submit an email to get my property valuation. Okay, I'm going to do that. And again, we know this is a percentage game. So a percentage of those people are going to submit their email. Okay, now, irregardless of what happens at this step, let's address the elephant in the room. If I'm a homeowner, I'm going back to my email thinking I'm going to go and I'm going to see your home is worth 999,000 or whatever your home is worth in that market. Right? We know that instant value. This person who's scrolling down their Facebook newsfeed, and when they see this particular ad, if you're not aware of this, you need to change your mindset right now. You need to reevaluate everything you're doing, because that person thinks that market evaluation is instantaneous. No one's overanalyzing this program right now. No one's overanalyzing your ad and thinking, there's probably a real estate agent behind this. Number one, they don't have no idea. Number two, when they click on that ad, they think they're getting market value instantly. And so if you have someone who's under the impression that there's an instant market value on the other side of this, and instead there's something that's generic, nothing's in there, you need to change the way you're doing things, because all of you have this entire sequence of automations going out, starting with this very first email. And honestly, you do not want it to be a typical, hey, I just want to let you know that I've received your Facebook request for the blah, 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 and I'm on it. Are there any updates I should be aware of? Okay. Address the elephant in the room. What's the elephant in the room? Okay. Elephant in the room is this. If I'm a homeowner, I can literally go right now into Google. And if I go into Google and I submit an address, I'm submitting my address of the home that I lived in as a childhood, in my childhood. And this home, my mom, I remember her purchasing this home. She literally knocked on this door, and there was an elderly lady there that was coming, to the later years of her life, and they were moving to Hawaii, and they decided that this was too much upkeep to keep this home. So they were able to buy this home for about $700,000 in a really exclusive area of Los Gatos, California. And so at that time, that home was worth that. Now, let me just show you. If I go to Zillow right now, this home is worth an estimated $4,392,000. Okay. Now, what I really want to again re-emphasize is that I just Googled this home address. That if I Google is going to give me Zillow, it's going to give me realtor.com as my next search. Why is it that realtor.com and Google have different values? Again, there's a 4,678,000. Let me go back again. Redfin has it at 6,460,000. 6 million. That's 2 million over the last two websites. Well, that's quite the discrepancy. Trulia, Movado. Like, I don't need to go any further here. What do you need to know? You need to know this. Every homeowner could go search their home address right now and get 5 values, and you're going to use a script that says Zillow thinks your home is worth, Trulia, Redfin, Movado. Great. Tell me something I don't already know that I could have done myself. Okay, I'm passionate about this because, guys, at the end of the day, let's address the elephant in the room. That person could literally throw their address in right now and do exactly as what you're saying. So what makes you unique? What makes you different? What are you going to do and bring to the table that's going to give a person the experience that you want them to have, that comes from contribution, that really shows the value of their home, that helps identify each home as being unique. Each home has its own story. Each home has specific memories that that person has had in that home. Each home has updates, renovations, additions, add-ons, landscaping, not to mention what's happening currently in the market, which we all know this is a seller's market that's just going off the hook, with multiple offer scenarios. And, you know, in some cases, a home gets listed and there's 25 offers on the table, right? Why should they talk to you when they could just go Google this themselves? So the elephant in the room is not that these home value ads are outdated and that, you know, man, everybody's using them. I'm like, well, then why isn't everybody just crushing it? Because if you understood the process, the top of the funnel is like me giving you the handoff at the 1 yard line and asking you to go 99 yards down the field. You're not going to be competing with anybody for that lead, but can you take that lead into a relationship? Can you actually create a conversation with that person? You know, so with that being said, what would I do? Well, my entire experience wouldn't be so much automated. Okay. My entire experience, this is some of what you guys have to rethink some things here. I would literally go into my automations and I would click edits and I'd reimagine this entire sequence. Like, so I would probably have something that was obviously automated so they knew who I was the moment they came into their email thing, because they thought that moment they were getting an automatic email, a home evaluation. They thought that they were probably going to go back there and said your home is worth 399,000 or whatever that they thought. So whatever you have in there has got to be authentic. It's got to be genuine. It's got to be just really foster communication that's humanized, that really makes that person feel comfortable to talk to you, and that experience they're going to provide, that you're providing, is going to be so much better than what they thought. I think you can use something along the lines of what I just showed you. I think you could actually use something along the lines of says, hey, you know, you're sophisticated. You're a homeowner that obviously understands that if you were just to go and throw your address into Google right now, that you have 4 or 5 different market values all over the place. And that's not an in-depth, in tune, you know, exact market value. That's going to be way off because they're not going to continue. You can say all those things, guys. You're the experts here. You know what those values are doing and where your true market value comes in and what you're going to offer them. So that's how you set the tone and the experience and the expectations around what you want to happen. But then with that being said, I would then look at all these sequences of text messages down here in your automations, and I'd perhaps pause them for a second. And then I would reintroduce them into my automations after about 72 hours. So here's where I would probably start really focusing on the personal experience I wanted to set a tone for, an automated experience. But it would be a byproduct of what I was doing personally. It'd be a byproduct of me picking up the phone. It'd be a byproduct of me trying to connect on Facebook. It would be a byproduct of really, I know that I'm going to personally send out things. I'm going to grab my phone, right? And I'm going to pull out that app, make it big. I'm going to put in their name and personalize it. You know, I'm going to go in there and write their name on here. I'm going to put in their address. I'm going to speak to them as an individual, not as an automation would. I'm going to create an experience, and I'm going to be authentic in that approach. And I'm going to tell them what I know about that neighborhood, what I know about the recent home sales in their market, what I know about, like, I would have a story that I already know because I know that area well. I would bring in my own personal experiences in the way I picked up the phone, in the elephant in the room, which is what they thought they were getting and what I'm going to give them, and letting them know, hey, complimentary, no obligation, my way of giving back. This is what I do as a small business owner, especially in these times where it's just hard to connect with people. I want you to be able to feel like you can. And so you have Zoom, you have FaceTime, you have Facebook Messenger, you have BombBomb, you have these mailers. You now have a custom URL that you're going to be able to use, that you're going to bring back into your mailers. You have so many free technologies in front of you today, yet you're struggling on the follow-up because you're trying to make this perfect automation lineup and you're trying to model yourself after, you know, no offense, Jennifer or Janky or Donna Swansea or all these people that have done well, but they're not the like, you know, they've done well with their own approach. Figure out what they've done well, take it, make it your own, and why not do something that is revolutionary, a trendsetter, do something that is way outside the box, something that you create the experience you want that lead to have the moment they come into their inbox, and you set the tone. You set the tone for you, what you want them to see. Okay. So I want you to kind of rethink this, reimagine this. I think if you start there, sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. I wouldn't be surprised if we build a course after you when you think this through. Address the elephant in the room. Thanks, guys.